Nowadays, you can find many videos on YouTube in which people tell you how to become independently rich by starting your own online business. While this may sound promising, it also raises some critical questions. Is it realistic or just hypocrisy? And even if it is realistic, is it ethical when many of the recommended business models result in people from poorer countries and environments suffering as a consequence? As for the second question, we can agree that the answer is no. That's why in this video I'll show you 5 ways how to generate an additional income in a sustainable manner by investing in solar energy, while supporting the global energy transition. One of the easiest ways to earn money with solar energy is obviously with the self-generated electricity of a solar system. This assumes that you either already have your own solar system in place or plan to install one soon. There are 2 basic ways to earn money through this: through the feed-in tariff or by directly selling the electricity you produce to energy providers and electricity trading companies. Let's take a look at the first option, the feed-in tariff. The feed-in tariff is a government-regulated rate that determines the compensation you receive for each unit of electricity you feed into the public grid. This compensation is typically measured in kilowatt hours. Feed-in tariffs are prevalent in many countries worldwide, particularly among industrialized nations. As an example, in Germany, as of 2023, owners of solar systems up to 10 kilowatt peak receive 8.2 cents per kilowatt hour for a duration of 20 years, when they feed their self-generated electricity into the public grid. In many cases, however, selling electricity directly to external companies can be more lucrative, although it may come with a trade-off in terms of security and convenience. This approach requires finding a suitable purchasing company, adhering to fixed contract terms that offer less flexibility, and being aware that electricity prices can fluctuate unpredictably. Like I said before, these external companies typically include energy suppliers and electricity trading firms. However, owning your own solar system isn't a prerequisite for earning money through solar energy. One way to generate additional income without owning a solar system is through crowdfunding. As the name suggests, crowdfunding involves multiple investors, the crowd financing new solar projects through their investments. These projects often include large installations like solar parks, solar facades, or even floating photovoltaic systems. The key advantage of crowdfunding is that typically a small investment is sufficient to participate as an investor. The minimum entry level for most projects is just $50 to $100. Furthermore, such projects are initiated worldwide, particularly in emerging and developing countries, which promotes the development of renewable energy all over the world. If you are interested now in crowd investing and want to invest, it's essential to carefully evaluate and scrutinize the projects that interest you. The project you intend to invest in should maintain transparency, allowing you as an investor to fully understand what you are investing in. Projects that promise excessively high returns on investment may indicate fraudulent schemes. Additionally, as with all investments in smaller projects where your investment percentage is higher, the risk is also greater. While the potential for higher returns exists, the risk of loss is also elevated. If you want to achieve a satisfactory return and at the same time have more security, it is worth diversifying, which means investing in several projects. You don't have to invest directly in the construction of solar plants, because you can also make indirect investments in solar installations through solar funds. A solar fund, similar to crowd investing, raises money from its investors to invest in various solar projects. These projects can include solar farms, large rooftop installations, or even solar thermal systems. Returns on such investments typically come from the feed-in tariff and the direct sale of generated electricity. In general, solar funds can be categorized into closed-end and open-end funds. Closed-end solar funds invest in specific solar projects with fixed terms requiring a certain amount of investment capital. Consequently, these funds close once the required capital has been collected from investors, and shares in the fund are difficult, if not impossible, to trade afterward. In contrast, open-end solar funds allow shares to be bought and sold at any time. In this case, the collected money is managed by the fund manager who invested in various solar projects. Let's compare closed-end and open-end solar funds to see which type of fund would be more suitable for you. Closed-end funds offer greater transparency and in many cases higher returns, because they invest in specific projects, but they also involve more risk. In addition, they are less liquid as shares are typically not redeemable during the fixed term. On the other hand, open-end solar funds offer higher liquidity and lower risk, but often provide lower returns and less transparency. If you have a general interest in the stock market, you might be initially surprised because ETFs or exchange-traded funds are also funds. That's true, but they differ from the solar funds just mentioned before, because they are passive funds that replicate an index comprising various companies. A solar ETF, for example, is a sector ETF that replicates an index consisting exclusively of solar companies. Therefore, when you invest in a solar ETF, you are indirectly investing in companies that promote the expansion of solar energy worldwide. Of course, you can also choose to invest in individual stocks of solar companies. Solar ETFs are generally considered safer because they offer diversified investments. In return, they typically offer lower returns than individual solar stocks, which come with a higher risk and volatility, resulting in price fluctuations. The easiest way to earn money with solar energy without owning your own solar system is to rent out available space, such as a roof or land, to a tenant who installs a solar system there. As a landlord, you can achieve a passive income through regular lease payments from the tenant. However, finding a tenant may take some time, and it's worth considering that you could also save on electricity costs and generate additional income in the long term by installing your own solar system. This business model is typically more worthwhile for owners of large areas, such as landowners who can rent out part of their land to solar installers. The key advantages of this investment are its convenience and low risk. As a landlord, you are not responsible for the installation of the solar system or any potential damages and problems. However, it's important to note that the potential income from this arrangement is generally lower than with the previous investment options. What's your opinion on investing in solar energy? Have any of the investment options convinced you? If yes, please let me know in the comments, and otherwise, until next time.